You know, for pretty much our entire lives, searching for something online has meant one thing, right? You type some words into a search box. But what if I told you that entire world, it's on the verge of a massive shift, one that could totally change how we use the internet?
Okay, check out this number, 97%. That is how much of all search traffic today goes through traditional search engines. We're talking about near total, absolute dominance. Because something is bubbling up just under the surface, a new way of searching that's moving so fast it's threatening the very foundation of how we find anything online.
All right, so to really get a grip on this, we have to start with the king of the castle. Let's set the stage and talk about the sheer scale we're dealing with here. 14 billion with a B. That is the mind-boggling number of searches Google handles every single day. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that. It's almost impossible.
So here's where things get interesting. You put Google's 14 billion searches up against the, 50 million from AI chat? The challenger looks, well, tiny, a rounding error. It feels like a total David versus Goliath situation, right? But we all know how that story ends, and it's not about who's bigger at the start.
Because this isn't a story about size. Nope, this is a story about speed. It's all about how fast things are changing.
Okay, so here's that 97% we talked about, laid out visually. It's a wall, right? Almost all the traffic is still flowing through the search engines we've used for years. It looks totally unbeatable, like a fortress. But then you look at this. This tells the real story. Traditional search, it's actually down a little bit. Meanwhile, AI chat search, it's just exploding. We're talking 80% growth year over year. This isn't a slow burn, folks. This is a rocket ship. One side is flatlining, the other is going vertical.
So what does this actually mean for us, for how we search? Well, this crazy growth is already changing our habits, specifically what we do after we type our question and hit enter. And the main tool making this happen is something called an AI overview. I'm sure you've seen these pop up. Instead of that classic list of blue links, you just get the answer, a neat little summary right at the top. The entire goal is to give you what you want, so you don't have to click anywhere else. This leads to what people are calling the zero-click journey. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Step 1, you ask a question. Step 2, the AI gives you an answer. Step 3, you close the tab. You're done. No click needed. And that tiny change, oh man, it breaks the entire business model that the web has been built on for decades.
But here's a good question. Is this happening to everyone, to every industry? The short answer is a big nope. This isn't hitting everyone the same way. Think of it more like a targeted strike than a giant wave.
And this chart really shows you what I mean. Just look at finance. If you're searching for a stock price or a currency conversion, you've got a near 100% chance you're not going to click anything. You get the number, you're gone. Same with news. About 80% of the time, the headline is the whole story. Even in education, looking up a simple definition, why would you click a link anymore? The whole game is changing.
Okay, so we've seen the insane growth. We've seen how our habits are already changing. So where does this train go from here? Well, the forecasts are pretty wild, and they paint a picture of a future that's coming at us way faster than you might think. Let's just walk through this timeline together. By 2026, that's just around the corner, traditional search could lose a quarter of its volume. But 2028, that's the big one. That's the projected tipping point where AI might be handling half of all searches. And then by 2030, the prediction is that AI search isn't just a competitor, it's the new king. It's expected to handle most of the world's search queries. We're literally watching a changing of the guard in real time.
So this leads us to the million-dollar question, right? What do we do now? When the entire game changes this much, you can't play by the old rules. You got to throw out the old playbook. And that means we need a new strategy. Say hello to GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. For decades, it was all about SEO, search engine optimization, which was all about one thing, getting people to click on your link. GEO is different. The goal now isn't to get a click. The goal is to be so good, so authoritative, that the AI uses your information to build its answer. You don't want the click anymore. You want to be the source.
And this all leaves us with one last, kind of deep question to chew on. For so long, search has been about discovery, right? It gives you a list of doors to open. But in a world where we just get the answer, a world of answers instead of questions, how will we ever stumble upon something new? How will we find that weird, amazing website we didn't even know we were looking for?
That's the real challenge, and maybe the biggest opportunity, as we step into this brand new world of search.